Hey gang, late to the party on this one. I know I had a few problems with my account, so finally got them all sorted. Now we're going to take a look at the Crusader Intrepid. Of course, we're in the PTU right now, and as you know, I take the PTU very seriously. Let's get this. All right, so people are giving this ship a lot of crap and saying it was ugly. I mean, it's not terrible. Oh, God. Nah, it's not bad. So weaponry, it carries 2 missiles. Note, not 2 missile racks, 2 missiles, and I believe they're size 1. This gun here is a single size 3, and that is it for the weaponry. The people who are all like, this thing doesn't fight well. Yeah, dude, it is. It is not a fighter, not with that loadout. I mean, if you're trying to fight in this thing, you've screwed up. You're running away in this thing. I have a strong suspicion, having watched other people's walkthroughs on it, of what the ship actually does. It does cool. It is cool that it's got 2 separate cargo bays that you can access from the outside. It's got the drop-down lights. And I mean, I was giving it crap, but it doesn't look awful. Again, this is the sort of thing that is completely up to taste. It does look very boxy, and I know exactly, why it's boxy, and I'll get into that in just a second here. I'm not gonna overdo this one. I am positive you've seen other people walk through this thing, but just kind of wanted to give my thoughts of it. Yeah, again, very boxy, but the reason why it is because it had to fit this interior, which honestly is one of the best interiors for a ship in this class that I've seen, period. It might be one of the best interiors for any ship up to like a Connie size. This is really well done. So I mean, obviously you've got the cockpit up yonder. You got the cargo bays back here, which again, lock off from this side. So you can drop the boxes, have people external load it, and you don't have like a back ramp open to your ship. And then you can close this thing without ever leaving your ship. That's huge. That's big. And then you can access it by clicking this button, and there's your cargo, and you never had to get out of your ship. In some systems, that'll be very nice. I'm seeing this thing as being more of a, called a tiny blockade runner, than like a combat ship. So this is in the Avenger class of ships. So Titan and stuff like that. Where the Titan is a pretty solid fighter, this is not. If you're fighting in this, you've screwed up. This is a one-person kind of go out, grab the stuff, and come back. So running small amounts of cargo, getting in, getting out. I mean, look at this. This is nice. So back in the day, and I'll see if I can find vid. Tactical Advance would probably be a good one. Tactical Advance was a content creator back in the day. I haven't seen any of his stuff for a long time, so I think he's stopped creating content by now. But he used to do ship walkthroughs back when everything was in the hangar. And the Mustang Beta, which was one of my first purchases back in, 2014 or so. Well, I guess technically my first purchase was the 350R back in the Lightspeed pack, but the first time I actually bought a package and got into the game and started doing stuff. I got a Mustang Alpha, immediately upgraded it to a Mustang Beta because Tactical Advance showed off the internals of the Mustang Beta, and it had like this camper van bed in the back with like a pop-up TV, and I'll show a... Don't store my ship, bro. Anyway, it had this pop-up TV, and I'll show a quick vid of that, but absolutely love the interior on that ship, and this one does the same thing. But you can see here, look at the size of this space, look at the headroom and everything. So basically they gave the sort of shape language of Crusader and the interior layout. It's got to have this, it's got to have this, it's got to have this, it's got to have internal cargo bays that go external and all of that. You probably can't fit a ramp in there. Have fun, and this is what they came up with. I mean, the reason why it looks like a box there is because it has to stuff all of that stuff into the back. If it didn't have that, if it was like the Avenger series, and it was all just down the center line, you'd have a much sleeker ship because you wouldn't have to build in the living space along that center corridor. So, I mean, you've got that corridor running off the cockpit that runs all the way to the back. Then you've got two big cargo rooms on either side, and then you have a large living space. There was someone, so you can sort of see where Intrepid is there. They're saying put a window in there. I kind of like that idea. Like with a combat ship, I'd be against it. But in this case, with this thing being a quick courier, and I mean, it being Crusader, its niche should be that it will be fast and maneuverable. If it's not fast and maneuverable, something's gone very wrong. They need to tweak the flight model so it's fast and maneuverable. But I mean, that angle isn't terrible. I don't hate it. That is very boxy. That's going to be a hell of a cross section. But again, this is not a fighter. If you're taking this into combat, you got the wrong ship. Get the Titan instead. The Titan is very good at combat. This ship is more for being comfortable and going out and getting 8 SEU of boxes and bringing them back quickly. That's what this thing is. This thing's a courier. It's not a combat ship. So the people sort of saying, this thing fights terribly. Yeah, it has one gun. Of course it fights terribly. Anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on this ship. I saw other people giving reviews of it, and it's kind of like, not everything in this game is a combat ship, and this is definitely one of those. So you want to judge this thing on is how fast and how well it flies. It should be faster and more maneuverable than the Avenger series. Now, speed-wise, there is a lot of noise around this place. I thought they fixed that bug, but apparently they did not. But anyway, cost-wise, I mean, we're about a week away from getting this thing. I'd say 60 bucks, 65. If it's going over 65, something's gone wrong. Will we get different variants of it? Maybe. It would make sense. Crusader might make like a, I don't know, a medical version or something, taking up that tab, but getting stuff in that side door. They could make a combat variant that wouldn't be ridiculous, sort of cut into the habitation room and put a bigger gun there. But again, this specific one, yeah, it's a courier. If you want a quick courier or smuggler ship, if you just want to run 8 SEU of drugs, this would probably be a good ship to do it in, honestly. Allegedly. Don't do drugs, kids. Gonna... Oh, is it? Oh, damn, that's right. So I reset my account, so none of my bindings are in the PTU right now. But yeah, not mad. Not mad. It's... Is it a pretty ship? No. Is it a functional ship? I'd say yes. So yeah, that's all I gotta say on this one, gang. Catch you next time.